I'm Jennifer Gidley, and today I'm speaking to you from Australia. What are the key challenges for the 21st century? Climate crisis, how do we educate for this? Growing inequality, how do we counter this? We live in a post-truth world, how do we educate for discernment? And we're facing exponential technology development. How do we keep it human with young people? To embody the core values to meet a 21st century challenge like climate crisis, how do we educate for this? We have sea level rise, we have melting glaciers, we have species extinction, we have mass climate migration, wildfires, superstorms. Climate crisis is leading us to the brink of ecosystem collapse, with out-of-control wildfires, superstorms and sea level rise beginning to hit home. 7 million people were already displaced in the first half of 2019 because of climate crisis. What values have caused climate crisis? It seems to me we've forgotten to value life, the environment and our future. We don't think in terms of a long-term future for our future generations. But I believe the pedagogies of life can help turn around climate crisis. If young people are educated with imagination, with a sense of ecological sensibility and foresight, a view of long-term futures, they will develop an ecological sensibility that will help them to turn around climate crisis. Next, to embody the core values to meet growing inequality. How do we counter this? We see here Jeff Bezos, the world's richest man, and his 165 million Beverly Hills mansion. But many of his Amazon staff are on food stamps. And the Oxford 2018 report tells us that the world's richest 1% got 82% of the wealth generated in 2018. It would be much worse now. We know that during the COVID period, those handful of billionaires got richer, most of them, while people lost their jobs, lost their livelihoods, and lost their lives. What do we do about this? What values underlie growing inequality? It seems we've forgotten how to value each other. Greed is at the centre of it. It dominates, and a lack of care for our fellow humans. So the pedagogies of love come in here to counter growing inequality. If we educate children through spiritual and contemplative practices, through social and emotional education processes, through holistic and integral education, we are developing compassion, and that helps to counter growing inequality. Thirdly, we live in a post-truth world. How do we educate for discernment? In a post-truth world, we need to educate young people to have discernment, to be able to navigate fake news, echo chambers and media monopolies. How do we do this? What values are lacking here? I see primarily a lack of discernment today. There's a proliferation of information through the mass media, but young people don't know how to make sense of it. They don't know how to navigate the masses of information. The pedagogies of wisdom can help here. Educating children in a way that's multimodal, creative, complex, showing interconnectedness. This will all help them to discern truth from post-truth. It will help them to develop wise discernment. Finally, how do we embody the core values to help us meet the 21st century challenge of exponential technologies? Digital addiction, AI and cyber threats. How do we keep it human? In this electronic age of voicemail, chat rooms and talking computers, the least valued of evolutionary forces is the human voice. Without it, little children cannot even learn to speak. So what is being valued here with exponential technology? Certainly profit. Silicon Valley is very wealthy, and there's a lot of greed involved in developing these exponential technologies and convincing people they need them. But especially it's about undervaluing human qualities. It's based on a technotopian worldview, not a human-centered worldview. So how can we help? What can we do? The pedagogies of voice help to keep it human. There's a whole range of them: postmodern and post-structuralist, aesthetic, artistic, poetic, critical and planetary educational approaches. And finally, lots of human voice. Talk to children, talk to young people. Let them talk amongst themselves. All of this helps them to find their voice, so it empowers them. That's the pedagogy of voice. It's empowering. Thank you for listening.